You know what? We're down already, and I'm going to get something going. This fastball, boy, it goes right out of the heart of the plate. He got a great swing. He can really swing the bat. And, boy, this is exactly what Canada needed. After falling behind, top of the inning, Julian says, hey, fellas, we're not done yet. Lots of baseball to be played.
He's at second. Here's Toro, and he swings and misses.
Well, this is where Freddie Freeman would be in the lineup, but he has that hamstring issue. He is out of the pool play from this point on. But he spoke to his teammates today before the start of this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's mixed feelings for Freddie. I mean, he really wants to be here. His hamstring being examined today. And so Ernie Witt knows that they're going to have to do it without Freddie to get to Miami.
Yeah, and Freddie, he was terrific, telling the team how proud he was. He wanted to be here, and he said, don't forget, I'll be watching, boys. So go after him. Go get him.
Urquidy misses outside. And don't forget that Canada fell behind Great Britain, and it was Julian who came up down 3-0, blasted a home run, and it just felt like from that point, Canada erased the memory of that 3 runs and went on to score 18 runs in that game. Toro, and that's going to be out of play. All right, the rest of this lineup for Team Canada. You've seen Julien. Tyler O'Neill's had a really good series. Otto Lopez had a really good yesterday with a triple and a home run and a solid classic for the young shortstop. 2-2 on Abraham Toro. Julien bluffs. Toro, line drive, base hit, center field. Julien a late start, and the throw from Thomas is cut off. Wasn't sure if that was going to get in.
The reason he wasn't sure was he took a big break as if he were going to steal third. And then he was kind of out of position to get a read on it. Had he not done that, he would have known this was going to drop. You can see him break toward third. Now he's not sure where it is. Hesitation, and Tim Leeper, the third base coach, has to stop him. There's the hesitation, and Leeper getting an eye on the center fielder. Thomas says, you know what? Nobody out. Let's let our big right-handed hitter hit here in this situation. But because he was thinking about stealing third, he had 2-3 big steps toward third, and he was out in no man's land when that ball was hit.
O'Neill has been Canada's best hitter here in Phoenix. 7 for 11. Couple extra base hits. You got Jared Young, the left-handed bat on deck. Jose Urquidy with the 0-1 pitch. And it's up. We talk about a Game 7 and playoff pressure, and winner goes to Miami. Urquidy is built for this. He has experienced this. 5 World Series games, 2 starts, 3 relief appearances, an ERA of 1.23, and a record of 3-0.
Yeah, and he's 27. He's established. He's pitched in great games before, big important games, much like this game, so he knows what it's all about. Just has to minimize the damage here. You have runner at third base, runner at first base. You see the defense in the outfield, especially shaded toward right center. Alex Thomas, a terrific center fielder on the right field side of center.
Check swing, did not go.
O'Neill has driven the ball to the right side throughout the course of pool play here, and there's a big gaping hole on the infield. And if Urquidy continues to pitch him outside, he's just got to take it the other way, take advantage of it. Plus, if you hit it to the opposite side of the infield, a much more difficult ball to turn to with.
Now the 2-2. It's up.
One thing we have learned about Team Canada is there's no give up in this roster. They come back and they've got confidence. They've got a lot of young prospects in this roster, and they believe in themselves. Otto Lopez with a triple and a 3-run home run in last night's game.
Breaking ball. That was a strike. And it wasn't called a strike. The home plate umpire, Carlos Torres, putting his arms out. Urquidy is glaring in at him.
And he's still 3/4 away toward home.
And so Canada gets a huge break here. That should have been strike 3.
Take a look at it. Where is it? Is it low? Boy, it is kind of low. We'll see from the side if it crosses his knee, but it looks as though O'Neill took a close pitch, and the call goes in Canada's favor.
It's not an easy call, but it did show right at the knees. Jared Young. And a fastball misses inside. And so here is Canada. Here's another look.
Well, it touches the bottom part of the strike zone, and could have gone either way, obviously. N.J. Gill thought it should have been strike 3, as did Urquidy.
Mexico gets 2. Canada has loaded the bases. And Young swings and misses. It's 1-1. Young is homered, walked 3 times, a couple hits. This is game 4 for Canada here in Pool C.
He had a big hit in the 9th inning yesterday against Colombia. That set the table for Otto Lopez in his 3-run homer. Lopez is on deck.
It's a fly ball to left, not too deep. Arozarena charging is there, makes the catch, and nobody is going anywhere. One out. And a big out to get for Urquidy, who, if he can roll a ground ball here, can get out of the whole inning.
Right, and Ernie Witt has a very productive young hitter. Blue Jays prospect Otto Lopez, triple in the 8th. Yesterday, 3-run home run in the 9th. And he's got power to the alleys, both left center and right center.
And they're playing him more towards that right center alley in the outfield as Urquidy misses away.
All throughout the course of history, hitters practice this situation. Man at third base, less than 2 outs, get something in the air, keep it off the ground, give your team a chance to score.
That's, a strike. That one was out, but you see Austin Barnes snap the glove back, and he got the call.
Yeah, for me, that's too much movement. That should be a red flag to the umpires. And hey, you know what? The catcher thinks it's outside. Why should I call it a strike? I don't like that movement from catchers.
1-1. Line drive into center field. That's a base hit. Julian will score. Toro got a late start. A run across, and they're still loaded.
What a series for Otto Lopez. Another RBI. A line drive right back up the middle off the end of the bat. Runner at second base. Toro had to make sure he was safely down in center field. Julian comes in to score. Toro moves to third, O'Neill to second, and Lopez keeps the bases loaded.
Best case scenario right now for Canada. They gave up the 2 runs. They've got a run across. They've got the bags loaded. And the next pitch from Urquidy will be his 20th. Remember, 65 is the pitch limit. So if you can run those numbers up early, you may only have to face him for 3 innings. Here is Bo Naylor. Three infielders on the first base side. And a strike to open the at-bat.
Naylor drove in the first run against Colombia with a base hit in the 4th inning in yesterday's game. That gave them a 1-0 lead. And they would add 1 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th and beat Colombia 5-0.
That one catches the corner. Pitch limits in pool play 65. Quarterfinals, you get 15 more. Championship round, it's up to 95. Urquidy out in front of the young catcher, 0-2. Ooh. That looked like it had the zone. 1-2.
They went with the fastball after a couple of breaking balls to get ahead. Just up a little bit too high. Again, another situation with 2 strikes. You want to shorten up, put the bat on the ball, and try to get the ball in the air. At a minimum, you want to cash in the runner from third, Toro.
One, two. That's low and in, and Naylor with the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Julian doubled, Toro singled. The walk to O'Neill after Mexico thought they had him struck out. Shallow fly ball from Young, and Lopez found center field to drive that man in. Julian. Naylor ready, Urquidy ready. And the 2-2. Jammed him, and he fights it off.
We have talked about Freddie Freeman not in this tournament any longer with that hamstring injury, but Team Canada has 8 top 30 prospects on this roster. Each of them in the top 30 prospects of their respective team, and that is 8 total, more than any other team in the World Baseball Classic. So Ernie Witt's got a lot of young players that are going to be the backbone of this team for a while.
Naylor swings and misses. Urquidy gets a big strikeout. And now there's 2 outs.
Big curveball. He started the at-bat with a couple of curveball strikes, trying to get Naylor to chase the high fastball, then finishes it off with another good curveball. And you can see Naylor way out in front. Tough pitch to take. Tight spin on that breaking ball and difficult to identify. And yeah, it's low, but you can't take a close pitch like that with 2 strikes.
Owen Casey now on the younger end of the prospect list. Just 20, and he fouls it back. And you kind of set the whole storyline there in motion, Buck, when you talk about Canada. Yeah, they do have some major leaguers, right? But Freeman's not here anymore. Most of their team are guys between 20 and 24 and prospects. Good prospects, for sure. Mexico is packed with major leaguers. Roller. And that's Trejo on the shift, who goes to first and gets the out. Canada gets 1 back. Urquidy gets out of the inning with just 1 run of damage. This is a game 7, right? Winner gets a ticket to Miami. And it's 2-1 Mexico.
Together or separate?
If you Canada has 5 position players in the lineup today who are 24 years of age or younger. So certainly some youth on the pitching side. We do not expect to see Cal Quantrill unless and until Canada reaches the quarterfinal.
All right, JP, thank you for that. And we'll see which starting pitcher settles down first. Will it be Rob Zastrinsky? Gave up a couple of hits, but he did get that double play to get out of the inning. The damage could have been much worse, and you could say that certainly about Urquidy's first inning.
Yeah, they both threw 27 pitches and 16 strikes, identical pitch count for both starters. You know, and there was a balk in the first inning, too, committed by Zastrinsky, and you think about, wow, Mexico really didn't hit the ball hard, and he got out of it with a terrific double play started by Abraham Toro at third base.
Alan Trejo, Alec Thomas, Austin Barnes, bottom third of the order for Mexico. Andrew Albers, the guy that JP just noted, he's a lefty as well. He's probably a guy they want multiple innings out of, but they'd like to do it in the middle of the game rather than right now. And you saw Philippe Aumont up and loosening up. As you've noted, that was probably just to get out of the inning or maybe just get a few outs. Mexico's got their guy lined up to pitch as well. That's Luis Cessa. And Urquidy-Cessa tandem is pretty darn good for Mexico. They've got to feel good about that right now.
A lot of major league experience, and the flip side of it is the Team Canada is just kind of patching things together.
That's pretty good patching it together right there. That's a strikeout, and the first for Zastrinsky.
He threw him a good changeup right there. This is an important part of the lineup for Zastrinsky. He has to really handle the bottom third of this order and get back in the dugout. Let his hitters get back on offense.
Thomas, terrific young outfielder of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Couple hits in 9 trips. He's kind of built for this ballpark. One of the reasons they traded for him from the White Sox.
Good speed, a lot of great coverage in the outfield. It's a very big outfield here at Chase Field.
Diamondbacks have some really good young prospects.
Yeah, and you look at the outfield speed. Carroll there, another outfield with terrific speed. They've got pitching, they've got a little defense. Perdomo at shortstop, number 3 prospect.
That was going into 2021. They don't have Jordan Lawler on there. That's the shortstop that they really like here in the desert. That's a fun team right now. Big gap in right center. Thomas runs well. And a 2-2. That is strike 3 called. I think he may have heard the patching it together comment. Because he has carved up Trejo and Thomas.
Well, they have a couple of guys that they had hoped to have on the team, and Nick Pivetta and Jamison Tyone, but this is a good fastball, and Thomas is locked up. Back-to-back strikeouts, and right down the middle he was looking for something soft and got the best fastball that Zastrinsky has thrown to this point, 94 miles an hour.
You just never know with starting pitching, as JP said. It's unpredictable in this tournament. Here's Austin Barnes. Has a double among those 3 hits. Fastball up high. Sometimes you get Taijuan Walker, like last night. 4 innings. I mean, he was an all-star 2 years ago. Struck out 8. He was dominant. Lance Lynn looked all of that with his 5 innings against Canada. And then sometimes you get Cal Quantrill, who came out, coming off a career year with the Cleveland Guardians. He didn't pitch an inning against Great Britain. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 runs. and left after 37 pitches.
Yeah, their first 2 starts, they got a total of 1 inning combined from their 2 starters.
Zastryzny walks Barnes. That's going to bring Arozarena up. And this is the benefit of having Arozarena in the leadoff spot. If you got a guy in the 9th spot who's getting on, Arozarena goes from igniter to provider.
Yeah, and that was the point I was trying to make about the bottom third of the lineup. You got to take care of business, and you'd love to face Arozarena with nobody on and no outs.
And you remember back at that at bat, Arozarena on a check swing had a ball that appeared to hit the bat, maybe his finger. It took him a while to start shaking and acting like it hurt. But the replay was not conclusive, and the call was, and umpires will, even if it's anywhere near the finger and it appears to hit part of the finger and the bat, and he didn't swing, you're going to get that call, and Arozarena did. And Mexico, to their credit, backed it up and got 2 runs in that first inning. Rowdy Tellez with a 2-run single.
Yeah, and you take advantage of your opportunities, and Randy Arozarena has been terrific. First 2 games, he was on fire. A home run to the bullpen in left field, he had opposite field doubles, and he just did about everything. He's getting a lot of fastballs early in this pool play. Not the case the last 2 games.
Arozarena hammers that ball, and it's going to get to the wall. Barnes around second, headed for third, and he's going to score. Mexico. 3-1. How you like me now?
Arozarena made an adjustment and stays on that fastball away and hit it on the ground. The 2-out walk to the catcher, Austin Barnes, costly in this inning. But Arozarena has been consistent in his ability to come up with big hits. That's a good pitch. He makes an adjustment. Barnes running with 2 outs. There was a hesitation and a double clutch by Owen Casey in right. And he came up ready to throw, and then he double clutched it, and by the time he gets it back in, Barnes scores all the way from first.
Opposite field line drive, which wasn't that high off the ground, 110 miles an hour. That's how it gets to the wall. And Verdugo with a big cut. And the Mexican fans now are starting to get into it. Mexico has such a great following, and they've been all over Phoenix for the last week.
A job by Naylor getting over in front of that ball to keep Arozarena from moving up. Naylor's had a good 4 games here. He's done a nice job calling games, coming up with a couple key hits, and doing a good job behind the plate.
Philippe Amont back up in Canada's bullpen. Slow ground ball. Lopez to his left gets there and gets the out. Mexico adds a run. Boy, this one, I know it's a game 7 and the winner goes to Miami, but it feels wide open right now, and Mexico has jumped to a 3-1 lead.
Junk sleep got you all jumbled up.
Adrian Martinez has yet to pitch in the Classic. He is rested and ready to go, potentially for multiple innings, as is Luis Cessa. So Benji Hill's bullpen is in very good shape overall. Some more good news, Rich, for Team Mexico. They've already scored more runs through 2 innings today than in last night's tense 2-1 win over Great Britain.
Denzel Clark into left. And that's the first out for Canada in the second. Hey, JP. We took a look at how pitch limits kind of escalate into the quarterfinals and then of, if not the best rotation in the Classic. And it feels like if they get to Miami, that becomes more of a factor.
It's an excellent point, Rich, and certainly Mexico hopes that Julio Urias will be rested and ready to go if they reach the quarterfinal. They would expect that to be the case. We saw last night just how great Taijuan Walker was as well. Patrick Sandoval, of course, against Team USA. Mexico has lived up to the billing as having one of the very best rotations, if not the best rotation.
So Benji Gill, the skipper, has a very deep, probably the best starting rotation in the entire Classic when you consider the experience they have.
Jacob Robson in the 9 spot for Canada, getting on base, a couple walks and 4 hits in the first 3 games. Edouard Julien is on deck. Canada got a run in the first, could have had more.
And what a good center fielder he is, and he is a good center fielder, but this is always a tough play for an outfielder. Watch Thomas pop your screen. He breaks back just a half a step, and that proves to be costly as it drops in front of him. And Robson's had a nice run here in this Pool C.
Urquidy, 27 pitches in that first inning. And Julien takes down low. Six for 10 now is Julien, 2 doubles and a homer. JP, Robson, nice fit in that 9 spot for Canada so far.
He is, and the veteran on this team. Of all the 9 position players in the game for Ernie Whitt, Robson is the most veteran. He's 28 years old. A majority of Canada's lineup is 24 years of age or younger.
Runner goes. Robson got a good jump, and Julien pounds it foul.
Yeah, Ernie Whitt giving him the green light over at first base, trying to get something going. And you know what? I think Ernie's doing a good job with his team, and he understands you just can't slug with the Mexico team. You've got to utilize the speed you have on the bases, and Robson, and of course Julien can put the bat on a ball. We've seen that throughout this tournament.
Now a 1-2 and a throw over. There's a lot of red here today. Swing and a miss. Julien, that is a rare time that he goes out of the zone and chases.
Yeah, he got surprised by that fastball. Urquidy ran it upstairs, and it had a lot of movement up and away, and Julien strikes out. He doubled in his first hit bat, and this is a running fastball, and kind of just ran away from him. More two-seam movement.
The reason I remarked about a lot of red, we opened the show with Mexico, and they both were wearing red that day too, and both teams at times had I don't know if it was cold for that game, but they had jackets on, red jackets, and it was a big red scrum. Runner goes, throw to second, and he's in there easily. Robson in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, he got a terrific jump over at first base, and watch the jump. couple of big steps, and the hitter Toro saw the big jump and just takes the pitch. Barnes' throw is just a little bit late, as he didn't have much of a chance to throw the runner out.
Toro hits a line drive, and it's caught there. Verdugo hit it on the button. Mexico had a guy out there, and Verdugo makes a nice play. 3-1, Mexico.
There's a new breed of hornet sweeping the nation.
They're so powerful and fast and unlike anything I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
These hornets are not natural. They're engineered. They cannot.
He's just done a terrific job for Team Mexico. And Brady Singer on the mound for Team USA. A 3-run home run and a historic bat flip by Meneses. 12 years in the minor leagues and finally got an opportunity last year with the Washington Nationals.
Drives it, left field. Oh, at the wall. Robson went up and got it.
J.B. Morosi talked about Robson and how he was a senior member of this lineup today. He does a great job, read it perfectly off the bat, gets back to the warning truck and times his jump perfectly. Boy, look at the focus on those eyes as he stays on it. Takes extra bases away from Meneses.
Philippe Armand has taken over, and applause for Robson. Here is Tellez.
Meneses looked like he had hit another home run, but it was just a little short of the mark, and Robson was there to haul it in.
It gives up the 3 runs. A hit batsman, a balk, and a couple walks didn't help.
Amont, 34 years old, former #1 pick. The river from Ottawa in western Quebec. Kellen Deglan and Rob Zastrisny having a chat on the bench. Deglan is the backup catcher for Team Canada.
2-1, and JP, Philippe Armand has been all about Baseball Canada for a long time. It's great to see him here.
It really is, and he's had an extraordinary journey in the game. He actually retired from organized professional ball in 2020 to become a farmer in Gatineau, Quebec, and he has remained active as an athlete. And a great story written recently by Shai Davidi at sportsnet.ca about exactly that. And in fact, there was a bit of a melee, as Shai described it, in a rec hockey game that Philippe Aumont played in the month of January. Unfortunately, Philippe actually fractured his coccyx, his tailbone, in that fight, but he managed to get back. And as he told Shai, quote, "I have sort of that hockey mentality. You play injured. You just figure out a way if you want to compete," end quote. He is certainly competing here today.
He's got backup, it looks like.
Big time backup. Those guys, we have seen those guys a couple of days here now.
Paredes in the right field. That's a hit. And Tellez, who walked, is now at second base. Mexico trying to put some distance between themselves and Canada.
Paredes with a little jam shot into right field. Matty Tellez drew the one-out walk along with that two-seam fastball. It's down around the label of Paredes, but he hits just enough of it to get it over the infield in front of Casey in right field. I want to know who is crazy enough to take on Philippe Aumont in a hockey rink. He's 6'7", weighs about 270.
Ground ball. Lopez, Julian to Young. And another double play. They got a big one to end the first. And another one here to end the third. Line change for Canada. And a 6-4-3 double play. Mexico on top. Bottom of the third coming up. It's 3-1.
Ugh, stipated. Feeling weighed down by a backed up gut.
Vamos, señores. Comenten ahí abajo quién usted cree que va a ganar hoy. Aprovechen que están dando anuncios y vayan a suscribirse y a darle like para que apoyen la transmisión. Vamos, vamos, comenten todo su equipo ahí abajo. El que usted cree que va a ganar, escríbalo ahí. Un saludito para Jorge Rivera, que está activo desde Tijuana. Saludito para Armando, que está activo desde Texas. Vamos, señores, ya el juego empezó. Seguimos con los saludos, los anuncios.
Last season were successful.
Good to know, and Canada's got speed. Tyler O'Neill, Jared Young, Otto Lopez, bottom third. Urquidy much more economical in the second inning, just 12 pitches, 27 in the first. Little soft fly ball, and that's going to nestle in for a hit. And Canada has traffic again, just like they did in the first and the second.
Well, for a second time in this game already, Alex Thomas, the center fielder, Alex Thomas broke back on this swing. And mind you, it's a breaking ball off the end of the bat. You can see powerful Tyler O'Neill. Watch the center fielder. he breaks back, and then by the time he recovers, the ball bounces in front of him. He's had a couple of tough reads, I'll give you that, because that big swing and then the ball's off the end of the bat, you expect it to be hit hard, but it's not.
Young takes a fastball for a strike. Lopez on deck. He knocked in Canada's only run. That was back in the first. Canada out hitting Mexico right now 5-4. But Mexico is out pitching Canada with Urquidy still in the game. Canada's starter, Rob Zastryzny, goes just 2 innings. One and two. Later on tonight, Colombia and USA. 7 o'clock start here in Phoenix. Winner of this game is handed a ticket and will be on a plane tonight to Miami.
Good take by Young. That ball was inside, and Young's got some pop. We have seen that. He's hit a home run in this Pool C play. He's not had a whole lot of hits, but he's getting more comfortable with each at bat. He's worked a couple of walks lately.
Of course, he's in the lineup. Freddie Freeman is out with that hamstring issue. He's swinging a miss. So tonight, does Colombia have a little more game in them? The United States and Colombia, Mike Trout, captain of USA. Colombia, underdogs, but plenty talented. I mean, Colombia beat Mexico. Mexico dominated Team USA. But it feels like, even in this small tournament, you can't
overlook anybody.
Compare games and say, well, they beat these guys.
Yeah, no,
these guys beat those guys.
That's a great point, yeah. And, you know, Mexico hammered Team USA. Yeah, you just never know what's going to happen on a given night.
Otto Lopez had a soft line drive base hit back in the first. It's going to be interesting when and not just with Canada, but with others. He missed the ball, but took the brunt of it. When a guy like Lopez goes back to on to the fourth.
Together or separate?
If you get this wrong, there'll be no second date.
Optimizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. With the money we saved, we tried electric.
Vamos, ya están dando anuncios. Volvemos con los saludos ahí. Comienza a comentar lo que quieren que les salude. Un saludito para Messi Rivera. Todos los que quieren sus saludos comienzan a comentar ahora que están dando anuncios. Un saludito para Cecilia Enrique, que está activa desde Arizona. y César Enrique desde Garden City. Anay, sí, Anay están dando anuncios, por eso el juego no se ve ahora. Vamos, señores, vayan suscribiéndose y darle like. Un saludito para Brian Flores. Saludo para Carlos Eugenio, quien está activo desde México. Continuamos con los saludos en los anuncios.
Two-out walk, a hit by pitch, a two-out walk right now. The difference in this pivotal ball game.
Yeah, it's a Game 7 feel, and for Mexico, if they lose this game, they are completely out. They are done. If Canada loses this game, they're close to done. I mean, they still would have a shot, but it's a long one. Colombia has to beat the U.S., and then they have to win, I think, a three-way tiebreak formula. And tiebreaks have not been kind to Canada in the history of this tournament. It feels like it's a must-win for Ernie Witt, and we know it's a must-win for Benji Gill.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Nobody wants to be victimized by the tiebreaker rules. Just determine your own fate and do it on the field.
Yeah, Philippe Armand can still get it up there. 92 at 6'7".
He's got parts of 4 seasons in the big leagues. He's got some experience. He understands if you can hold Team Mexico, and there you see, advance to the quarterfinals as a #1 seed because of their win over Team USA. Eliminated, they go home. And it's different for Ernie Witt's team. He knows if he wins, he goes to Miami, but it's up in the air what happens if they should happen to lose.
Yeah, like I said, they're going to need Colombia to beat the USA, and that throws him into a three-way tiebreak for that last spot. Alec Thomas called out on strikes in the second. You got Austin Barnes behind him. For Canada, the preferable #2 pitcher in this game, at least in the game plan, was Andrew Albers. That's what Ernie Witt had up his sleeve, even a short sleeve. But things didn't go well with his starter, and so Armand is kind of like building a bridge to get to Albers, who's up in the bullpen now and starting to loosen.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about the bottom third. There's Albers. He is a veteran of 5 major league seasons. He didn't play in 2022. He had elbow surgery. He's 37 years old now. So he's the guy they hope can give them length. Come in here and really calm things down. But we talk about the bottom third of this order. It proved costly. The 2-out walk to Barnes back in the second turned into a run for Mexico. You know, Mexico has got their great starter on the mound, Urquidy. And much like with Taijuan Walker in the last game for Mexico, that starter was dominant. And Canada has to just keep it close right now until Urquidy is out of the game and then take their fortunes against the Mexico bullpen.
Urquidy is at 49 pitches. 65 is the limit. So you would say he's got an inning left in him.
Yeah, for sure.
And no one has even stirred in the Mexico pen. Almont, breaking ball and strike.
Well, and again, you don't want to face Randy Arozarena in this inning. I know you're going to have to get a double play to avoid that, but Arozarena had the 2-out double back in the second. And that's why managing the bottom third of your order is so important. Take care of those guys in the bottom of the order so you don't have to deal with the big bats at the top of the order.
I don't want to face Randy Arozarena in any inning.
He's had quite the run here.
Balloon.
Robson with his second good play of the afternoon.
I wonder how it's going to go back at Dodger camp when the two Dodger catchers get back.
You know how it's going to go. The stolen base that Barnes had against Will Smith.
Yeah.
That's bragging rights, man.
That was a great moment, and moments that you get in the World Baseball Classic when you have, players from major league teams that are of different nationalities playing for different teams and suddenly competing against each other. 1-2. Runner goes. Thomas on the way. The throw from Naylor. He's in there.
Yeah. Naylor bounced the ball into second. Thomas got a great jump off Amon. It's kind of deliberate to the plate. Take a look at the jump. He had a little bit of a running lead. He bounced off once and then took off, and the throw is short. The short hops Julian at second. Didn't have much of a chance.
Barnes with the count 2-2. Mexico can add on here. Many of these fans have been here all week. And a swing and a miss.
Well, this is really interesting now. With 2 outs and a base open, what do you do with a Rosarena? You got a left-handed hitter behind a Rosarena in Alex Verdugo, who's not had a good tournament. Ernie Witt and Greg Hamilton talking about the options. And it looks like they're going to pitch to him. Got hit by a pitch his first at bat. Had an RBI double his second time up. That was back in the second.
And he smoked that double on a line all the way to the wall in right center field. 110 miles an hour off the bat.
You see Rosarena looking at that outside corner, kind of suggesting he thought it was off the plate outside. He hit a good pitch, as you mentioned, down and away. I mean, it was a borderline strike away from him. He hit a rocket to the alley.
There have been a couple of occasions similar to this in this tournament where opposing managers have had first base open just like this. Do you pitch to a Rosarena? Verdugo's a big league hitter behind it, but a Rosarena is so good, and both times he got a big hit. There's a swing and a miss.
Well, and the thing about Amon, he is a veteran. He's not pitched an awful lot in the big leagues, just a total of 43 innings, but he's pitched a long time. And he's going to try to change speeds and hit his spot. And off speed, breaking ball back and forth, just mix it up on a Rosarena.
Nice job by Naylor to get out and smother it.
Really good job. He's quick behind the plate. Got out in front of that to keep the ball from getting away. Watch how quickly he moves to his right. And I love the fact that he is in that traditional catcher stance. See how much easier it is for him to get over there and get that ball, as opposed to that one knee stance we see most of the time. Good job, Bo.
I'm happy to report that Buck Martinez has not been down to one knee at all during this tournament. 2-2. Breaking ball fouled at the plate.
I can't get down on one knee. I can't get down on two knees. But Naylor is, he's a good-looking catching prospect, one of the best catching prospects in all of baseball.
He's a member of the Athletic Catchers Guild. It's a group of catchers around baseball that can run, are athletic, have power.
I never got inducted into that club.
No.
I couldn't run.
Harry, Great Britain's Harry Ford is a future member of that club in the big leagues.
JT Realmuto, who is in this pool, he might be the
he's the president.
Yeah,
yes,
he's the president of that club.
Yes, without question. All right, 3-2. Let's see if he gets something to hit. Check swing. Did he go? No swing. Now you got the lefty, and you're probably going to get Albers out of the pen.
Let's take a look at the pitch sequence in that big at bat. Philippe Amont finds the outside corner with that cutter. Missed with the second cutter, down and away. Got him to chase a slower breaking ball at 81 miles an hour. The curveball is bounced in the dirt, and he fouls off another slow breaking ball. Takes that one inside, looked like a changeup, and then checked his swing. I tell you what, that's a very close pitch. Watch this check swing. Indeed he did. Good call by the umpire at first base.
I'll tell you what, only one of those pitches was in the strike zone. That is a great job by a veteran of pitching around a dangerous hitter.
Yeah, and he knew that they had Albers ready, so he did a great job just hoping to get a Rosarena to chase.
NASCAR Cup Series and better.
Vamos, señores, los que quieran su saludo, comenten ahora que están dando anuncios. As for that, if you want me to create your comment, don't forget to subscribe and like. Vamos, señores, comenten ahí lo que quieren, su saludo, ahora que están dando anuncios. Saludito para Jesús Alberto. Saludito para Rosendo Fernández. Don't forget. Señores, están dando anuncios, pero eso no se está viendo ahora. Que fue que sacaron al pitcher. Y no puedo dejar el video para que no tumbe la transmisión.
Drafted in the 10th round out of the University.
He was away from Major League Baseball from 2017 until 2021.
He held the ball in, wants to make sure that he is thinking the right way. He's in the driver's seat, 0-2. Thomas at second, Rosarena at first. 2 outs.